All right, hello everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing the third, I don't know why I did that, third installment in the Scream franchise, obviously just titled Scream 3. So this one was a little bit better than the second movie I found, and quite a bit more memorable, I would say. So this one was quite different, where they were actually, I think, writing the next Stab movie, I do believe, was what they were doing. And we actually get to go onto the set of Stab, and this was. So I guess Dewey is no longer a cop because he's working on the actual film. And so the films are based on Gail's books because now she's written more than one, obviously, knowing that there's been more than one set of murders, right? So she keeps kind of making a profit off of what's been happening in Woodsboro, which is kind of crazy and kind of sad because she's the one who ends up solving them half the time anyway. Um, so in this one, we actually get to go into the set, and there's a new Ghostface killer, obviously, as seems to be the theme. And in this one, he's going down the the cast list of the movie as the people die in the new movie. Um, so yeah, who died first? So obviously we have the returning actors, and Cotton Weary is trying to. I believe in this one was he trying to make. Or no, I guess it was in the second one where he was trying to make amends with Sidney Wright because at the end it looks like he might actually be talked into killing Sidney by Billy's mom, but he pulls the trigger and kills Billy's mom instead. That was another thing that I forgot to talk about in the second review. Because he was trying to be interviewed by Gail to kind of make amends with Sidney for what had happened because he had forgiven her. So yeah, in this one, the killer is actually able to change his voice and make it sound like anybody he wants to. So he's a little bit more sophisticated and obviously more tech savvy than the other two killers. So he first, I guess, kills Cotton's wife, Christine, kills her first, and almost gets a hold of Cotton in the process. Or no, he does kill Cotton. Yeah, the two of them die. I think they are the first two to die, actually, because Cotton had made a guest appearance in the Stab 3 movie. That was right. Okay, so he kills Cotton and his wife. And who else does he go after? Was Patrick Dempsey the cop in this movie? I believe he was. If I'm remembering correctly, it was Patrick Dempsey that played the cop. Let's just see here. Where's a photo of Patrick Dempsey in this movie? Okay, so in this one, they also find the tape from Randy talking about how in the trilogy, the killer seems immortal and anybody can die in these ones, including the main character, which would obviously be Sidney, right? So I guess Sidney is no longer safe. She can actually be killed in this one. Yeah, Patrick Dempsey was the cop. Okay. Good. Where's like another photo of him with... I almost thought that he was the killer, to be completely honest, because he kind of seemed, again, they kind of set it up that way where they kind of make it seem like the killer is the obvious person, and then it just ends up being a total twist. So the killer is leaving clues along the way this time of Sidney's mother, and I guess we find out that Sidney's mother was actually a pretty well-known actress, and maybe did a lot of things in the film industry that she wasn't necessarily proud of to get by in her way. And I guess maybe she was a bit of a, yeah, let's just say a bit of an active person as far as that goes. She did a lot of things that maybe she shouldn't have to get her way, I suppose. And we find out at the end of the movie that the killer is actually her half-brother. So that was a huge twist in this one, I think, which made it a little bit better because it kind of felt slightly more personal, I think, with this film, being that the person that was um, going after Sydney was partially related to her, and really did a great job of obviously drawing her in, and really knew how to kind of hurt her by getting like her closest friends, including Gale and Dewey, who was always kind of there to protect her. Um, you know, uh, in a serious amount of danger, right? Because he gets them in the house, and then we were in the set for quite a while of the movie, and I think Jenny McCarthy dies in the studio right after everybody else leaves, and she just gets absolutely like thrown through the door. And who was it? One of the actress's bodyguards ends up dying. Yeah, he dies. So Jenny McCarthy's character Sarah Darling dies. Who else was? I believe Parker Posey was the one that was supposed to be playing Gale. Patrick Warburton played Stephen Stone, who was the bodyguard for one of the actresses or actors in the film, and he ends up getting killed. Who else ends up getting killed in this movie? Yeah, I'm trying to think. Does Mark Kincaid die in this movie? I can't remember whether he dies or not. Or whether he must have died in this movie too. I mean, for God's sake, Sydney almost dies in this movie. And if I'm remembering correctly, this was the one where, no. Now I know that she shoots the Ghostface killer and he tries to kill Sydney as well, and I believe they were both wearing like bulletproof vests in this one, so it seems that because they were family, I guess they kind of thought alike. Now I'm trying to remember exactly what happens when they were on the set. Like who dies when they were actually on the set of the movie. Interesting. That I can't remember. Now obviously, Gale has no idea that Dewey was helping work with on this movie, and when she finds out, it seems that at this point they may have been kind of split up a little bit. Possibly. It seems that he kind of resents her somewhat, maybe for what she wrote about. Oh, yeah, that was right. For what Gale had written about him, the way he was in the book, the way he was perceived in the book. He didn't like that very much. So, yeah, even though I guess they were kind of like a love interest, they kind of had torn themselves apart a little bit in this movie. And I don't. Now, was he still a cop in this movie? No, I don't think he was. I think he was just like kind of like security. Because yeah, he was working on the set of the movie. And then the kills in this movie were just absolutely insane, especially the one where the guy says whoever smells the gas will be saved, and then the house just blows up. Like, whew, there were some brutal kills in this movie. Let me say that. Definitely some surprises, and the killers seemed much more like calculated and like always like 2 or 3 steps ahead of the actual of Sydney, because Sydney seemed to kind of always outsmart the killers in the previous movies, but she wasn't able to do it in this one, that's for sure. Now, what else can I really say about this film? What scene was this? Oh, yeah, when Sydney was having the weird dreams about her mom because the killer was able to use her mom's voice against her, sort of thing, to really, really mess with her head quite a bit. Yeah, I guess kind of finding out that it was her half brother. Oh yeah, and then the two-way mirrors in the house. Um, it ends up that the girl who was playing Gale also dies. Who else had a death in this movie? Good Lord, there were so many. I think Patrick Dempsey's character does end up dying, doesn't he? And then Jenny McCarthy gets killed. Yeah, there's Parker Posey's death. Who else dies in this movie? Oh, yeah, that's right. It was this one where he has them tied up in the house and gets Sidney out of the I guess gets Sidney out of the police station and to him, right, to have this final battle or whatever, which was kind of messed up. Yeah, what other kills were there? I'm trying to think. I guess that might have been it. Oh no, there was this one too. But wasn't he the... I'm so confused. I thought he was the one that was the killer. Hold on a second. This is weird. I could have sworn that he was the one that played the killer. Now I'm really confused because... Hold on. The killer was... I swear to God. Yeah, it was him. It was just him without the glasses on. Interesting. Yeah, that is right. I think I'm thinking that's right anyway. Oh my God, they look so different when they take their glasses off that it's hard to tell. So yeah, then obviously the final battle scene in the one little kind of hidden room in the house between Sidney and her half brother, and he ends up. I think yeah, it was Dewey that ends up killing him in the end. So again, he kind of saved Sidney in a sense. And yeah, it kind of sucks that they had never ended up together, but I guess it is what it is with that. I always felt like they probably would have been the better couple in the movie, at least. Not to say that Gale and Dewey didn't make a good couple, but I just feel like there was always that, you know, possibility that Sidney and Dewey could end up together because they always seemed like they were that way with one another. It just kind of, their chemistry was kind of better, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And can I just say that as these movies went on, I don't know what happened to Courtney Cox's hairstyles, but or whoever was her hairstylist for these movies, but good Lord, it was just yeah, her looks were not great. I will say that much until probably 2011 in the fourth movie. But yeah, I don't really think there's much else to say about this movie other than it's just kind of like a similar kind of style with the copycat killer, but it always seems to be a little bit of a bigger twist every time, which is kind of funny. I guess other than that, I guess I will see you guys in the next review. And yeah, I gave this movie an 8 out of 10, I do believe. Yeah, an 8 out of 10. And I guess there was a... Oh, I guess that would make sense that this Beth Toussaint played the female caller for her mother. That makes a little bit more sense. Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Roman that was the killer in this movie. I do remember that. Okay. So yeah, I think I had every kill right. And then there was a guest appearance by Silent Bob and Jay. I think they were in the set. Oh, and Martha Meeks was the one, Randy Meeks' sister, that showed them the tape of what Randy was warning them about in this movie with the trilogy stuff. And even Carrie Fisher made a guest appearance in this movie. So yeah, quite a few guest appearances in these movies. I feel like kind of very similar to most horror franchises where everybody kind of wants to be in on it, even if they're the one who gets killed. Because yeah, you can gain quite a bit of fame off of that if the movie franchise is doing really well. And obviously, most Wes Craven movies did pretty well, especially this series. After the first two, I think everybody was probably jumping on the bandwagon to be like, I got to be in one of these movies. Even if I'm not a main character, even if I just die. Like, just that would kind of boost maybe your acting career a little bit, I think. But other than that, yeah, 8 out of 10 for this movie, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.